The Magnetic Sensitivity Report. The Urantia Book asserts that all animals have at least a limited sense of direction due to magnetic forces on the planet that, quote, activate the hosts of microscopic bodies which are sensitive and responsive to these directional currents. This sense is not wholly wanting as a conscious possession by mankind. These bodies were first observed on Urantia about the time of this narration. End quote. After the Urantia Book was published in 1955, scientists discovered the presence of biologically produced magnetite in a variety of animals, including humans. Magnetite is the most magnetically sensitive material on Earth. Sensitivity to the Earth's magnetic field in a variety of migratory animals is now a well-established fact of science. Though human sensitivity to the Earth's magnetic field is still debated within the scholarly community, some researchers are confident that sufficient evidence already exists to make this claim. The authors of the Urantia Book assert that there are 48 units of pattern control, trait determiners, in the sex cells of human reproduction. When it was published in 1955, scientists believed that human beings have 48 chromosomes. In 1956, researchers determined that there are, in fact, 46 chromosomes. There are 24 distinct human chromosomes, 22 autosomal chromosomes, plus the sex-determining X and Y chromosomes. The authors of the Urantia Book specify the sex cells of human reproduction rather than somatic, non-sex cells in an apparent attempt to keep us from misinterpreting this statement. By specifying sex cells, the authors are actually steering us away from confusing these with the 46 chromosomes in a somatic cell. Collectively, human sex cells have 48 units of pattern control. The Sierra Mountains Report. A long-standing controversy has existed over when the Sierra Mountains were formed. Two schools of thought developed, referred to as the Old Sierras and the New Sierras theories. The Old Sierras theory holds that the Sierra Mountains formed about 50 million years ago. The New Sierras theory asserts that they are only about 5 million years old. Though the controversy is not entirely laid to rest by research published in 2006, this new approach to dating the mountains employs a technology that is much more specific than previous methodologies and has been widely accepted as reliable when used in other applications. The results are harmonious with the Old Sierras theory and with what was asserted by the Urantia Book in 1955. The Pangaea to Plate Tectonics Report. Not only does the Urantia Book say that the continents were once all connected as one landmass and that they broke up and then drifted apart, it also provides details about how this happened. Additionally, it addresses issues related to how various pressures affect the interrelationship of oceans, continents, the Earth's crust, volcanoes, earthquakes, and mountain formation. Though the theory of continental drift had been around for a long time, and some evidence in support of this theory had been developed prior to the Urantia Book's publication in 1955, the continental drift theory was very unpopular at the time of publication because scientists had not come up with an adequate explanation for how continents were able to move. In fact, seafloor spreading and plate tectonic theories, which brought continental drift theory into acceptance, had not yet developed. Wikipedia puts it this way: the acceptance of the theories of continental drift and seafloor spreading, the two key elements of plate tectonics, may be compared to the Copernican revolution in astronomy. The Copernican revolution is when it was accepted that planets move around the sun, not that everything moves around the Earth. The Urantia Book makes statements about how much information the angels were allowed to reveal. It says, "The laws of revelation hamper us greatly by their prescription of the impartation of unearned or premature knowledge." Mankind should understand that we who participate in the revelation of truth are very rigorously limited by the instructions of our superiors. We are not at liberty to anticipate the scientific discoveries of 1,000 years. We full well know that while the historic facts and religious truths of this series of revelatory presentations will stand on the records of the ages to come, within a few short years, many of our statements regarding the physical sciences will stand in need of revision in consequence of additional scientific developments and new discoveries. Notice that the Urantia Book has numerous qualifications about the scientific information that could be imparted to us. However, regarding historic facts, it says that this information will stand on the records of the ages to come. The Urantia Book also states, revelations are of immense value in that they at least transiently clarify knowledge by 1. The reduction of confusion by the authoritative elimination of error. 2. The coordination of known or about to be known facts and observations. 3. The restoration of important bits of lost knowledge concerning the epochal transactions in the distant past. 4. The supplying of information which will fill in vital missing gaps in otherwise earned knowledge. Two of the most impressive reports relate to the Adam and Eve story, which in the Urantia Book is considered an epochal transaction in the distant past. It is also interesting to note that while the Urantia Book says it could not anticipate the scientific discoveries of 1,000 years, it does say that about to be known facts and observations can be revealed. It's also important to keep in mind that if a revelation is going to reduce confusion by the authoritative elimination of error, then when it is presented, it necessarily must be in contradiction to information that is believed by scholarship and scientists, and that therefore it would take a period of time before our science and scholarship would catch up to this authoritative elimination of error. I hope you enjoyed this presentation about how science is catching up to the Urantia Book. Thank you very much for listening, and you're of course encouraged to find out more about this information by exploring the UBtheNEWS.com website.